See, it's easy to hear about the value of responding and not reacting, and to think that you shouldn't react when you meditate. You might judge difficult emotions and think that you failed in mindfulness practice if you feel moody, or if you feel irritable, if you feel angry that day. But mindfulness is being honestly aware of what's happening in you, not actually pasting on a layer of false equanimity or that false sense of peace. If you feel grumpy, the practice is to be aware of that grumpiness without judging. And then you can find the best way to respond. And life is full of pain. Living with pain is hard. So it's understandable if you feel emotions such as grumpiness or that anger, because we all do, right? But if you can acknowledge those feelings when they arise, then you'll find space around them to deal with them. So those emotions, they often feed on themselves in an escalating spiral of blame, self-pity, rage. But it's always possible to find moments that you can choose to encourage more helpful states of mind. It isn't easy. I'll be the first to say that. And it may be humiliating to face your negativity. But every time you manage to face it, it's that little taste of freedom. And that's mindfulness. One of the main emotional effects of my pain is that, yes, I can become very impatient and grumpy and irritable, especially if I'm in a discussion that involves any kind of emotion or a group situation that requires patience. And if there's a decision to be made, I kind of fight that feeling of just wanting to make it quickly. And I guess when I think about it and when I break it down, behind that impatience is the thought that the sooner I finish, the sooner I'll be able to move on to the next thing. But I know that this grumpiness, this irritability, that's hard for others, and it has affected my relationships. It's affected my friendships. It's affected how I deal with professional situations. And I wish it wasn't like that, but I'm finding that the best thing to do is just to own up to that feeling. Own the irritability, own the impatience. And when it happens, instead of thinking that I can prevent it from ever arising, my mindfulness practice helps me to notice that it's happening and notice it without being too defensive. And it's that extra little bit of space, like I mentioned, that bit of space in between, that in that space you can make a decision to behave differently. That's why mindfulness is not about suppression, not about suppressing your emotions.